Joining me now is Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett of the United States Virgin Islands. She is one of 9 impeachment managers. They're going to lead the prosecution in Donald Trump's second impeachment trial. Representative Plaskett, good to see you again this morning. Tell me about this. You've got this article of impeachment that was overwhelmingly passed in the House. It is now your job and the job of 8 others to make the case in a trial. We don't know exactly when it's going to take place, but a trial in the Senate to try and convince the senators to vote for the removal of the president. Tell me how that works, given that the president will probably be gone by the time this trial takes place.
Well, members of Congress have a duty to uphold the Constitution and to defend it against enemies, foreign and domestic. In the House, we believe that this president is a clear and present danger, and so the House acted, as you said, overwhelmingly in a bipartisan manner, which has never been done in history. We all were witnesses to what happened on January 6th, and it is our duty to act on it. We will take this article of impeachment over to the Senate and try the actions of Donald J. Trump that caused almost a coup d'etat, an attempted overthrow of a democratic process. It is important that that's done. It's important for us to send that message that this will not stand in this democracy, so that it cannot be done again, so that others cannot believe that it can be done again. If you recall, in the last impeachment hearing, there were senators that said, he's not going to do this again. He's learned his lesson. Obviously, not only has he not learned his message, but those individuals who attempted to terrorize the members of Congress, kidnap, assassinate people, did not learn that lesson. We are there to teach them that lesson that democracy rules in this country.
So a lot of people associate impeachment with the removal of the president. In fact, what we learned from the last impeachment, we were reminded that impeachment is the prosecution, the charges, and then the trial is the decision to remove the president. If there is no president to remove, or if that president does not face the sanction of removal, what is the sanction that Donald Trump faces by impeachment? Is it done for democracy, or is it done for Donald Trump?
I think it's done for both, correct? Because you're sending a message that these are not actions that Americans will tolerate, that this is something that has to be stopped. But you are also sending a message to Donald J. Trump, potentially by the second act that the Senate may do, which is to impede him from running for office again, or to have the trappings that our past presidents may have after they have left. Ali, remember that this has happened in the past. There has not only been a trial after someone has been removed from office, but the House in the 1800s impeached an individual after they had left office. The House in this instance impeached the president while he was still in office. And in the 1800s, that case was taken to the Senate, and that individual was tried after they left office. There are some acts that are so egregious that justice must be done before healing can take place.
Stacey Plaskett, good to see you again. Thank you for joining me. Democratic Representative Stacey Plaskett, representing the United States Virgin Islands, is an impeachment manager in the forthcoming Senate trial against Donald Trump.